And we have a newcomer here in the meeting today, Sanjeev from the SB. He will be representing his first meeting from Riyadh. And one more member, Viraj, इस ग्रुप में पहला मीटिंग है ग्लोबल लॉकडाउन ग्रुप में. So I invite Satish to come forward and explain his experience and talk with us. So what is the Satish?
Yeah, good morning, friends. My name is Satish. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Satish.
Hi, my dear friends. I tell you, by the grace of God, the love and support that I get from all of you, practice the steps and traditions and the concepts, I'm sober today. Excuse me, friends, मेरा गला थोड़ा बैठा हुआ है. You know, I've been talking a lot over the last 2 days. Welcome to the party, yaar. क्या बोलूं मैं? The celebration continues. Thank you so much for your kind words, Gary, Oscar, Tambi, everybody who shared here. I had no plans to come here this morning, to be honest. But I thought probably in the evening I might drop by. But you see, God works in mysterious ways. Because मेरे में थोड़ी ताकत कम हो गई, रात भर में सोया नहीं, अलग-अलग विचारें आ रही थी. There was just thinking so many things in my mind, in my heart, with the love and affection that I'm getting all across, you know. But before I forget, I mean, like I said, God works in mysterious ways. Let me welcome Viraj, जो आज पहला मीटिंग कर रहा है ग्लोबल लॉकडाउन में, and Sanjeev. You know, I have no words but to say the miracle of God working, that you're doing your first meeting ever in Alcoholics Anonymous. And that reminds me of how I did my first meeting in Alcoholics Anonymous. This was way back in 1997 in Dubai. And I don't know if I have the privilege of the time to go through my entire story, but I can tell you briefly that the 25th of May, 1997, that I'd walked into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I never stopped coming. आज तक मैं जब भी मौका मिले, whenever I get an opportunity, the first thing that comes to my mind is an AA meeting. And even if there's no meeting, on a one day at a time basis, I try to touch base with other alcoholics. And even if I don't touch base, there is somebody or the other who calls me up and I stay connected. You know, सुबह की मीटिंग प्राइमरी पर्पस में इतने सारे लोग आए और इतनी प्यार मोहब्बत एक के बाद एक शेयर करना चाहते थे. सबको 5-5 मिनट दिया गया. लास्ट में हमें फेलोशिपिंग में भी शेयरिंग लेना पड़ा और मुझे भी कुछ मौका दिया बात करने की. मैंने क्या सही कहा, क्या गलत कहा, मुझे पता नहीं, बिकॉज व्हेन आई स्पीक आई डोंट थिंक, इट जस्ट कम्स फ्रॉम माई हार्ट, इट कम्स फ्रॉम माई सोल. And that is a connection that I get when somebody else shares their life story. And Sanjeev, I would love to listen to your share sometime when you're out of the rehab. And that's how life...
Thank you, sir. I'd love to. It's wonderful hearing you.
I'd love to hear you. Because I'll tell you the fact, you know, see what I feel is, you know, that I require old-timers. For the old-timers, like I said, when I came in 1997, thank God for that particular group and the group conscience of trying to carry the message that they put a small message in a newspaper that do you have a drinking problem? If you have, please contact this number. And I had no idea about Alcoholics Anonymous. Even after I came here, I never heard about AA. But I realized that, you know, that I'm the chosen one. We all are chosen people here. There's no doubt about it. And I kind of, you know, during the course of my life, I've transformed myself completely. And I just can't believe it. This morning when I was sharing in the primary purpose meeting, I was literally in tears. Because I was a person who could not stay away from alcohol for 25 minutes. And it's truly a miracle that I've crossed 25 years on a continuous basis. And I just don't know how to express it to anybody, you know. So over the last 1 or 2 days, I've been trying to communicate as best as I could, and I just put out a message on the WhatsApp, and I'll read it out to you and to others. What I wrote down is in the WhatsApp that today I thank God for all the people I met here in my life's journey of recovery, helping me reach 25 years of sobriety. I humbly ask God to bless you, protect you, and guide you in overcoming your challenges in recovery as well. As you and people around me help me understand the essence of we, I realize that without you, there is no me. And I wrote one more paragraph, last night. I said, last but not the least, I also want to humbly thank me for working on keeping myself sober on a one day at a time basis through life's challenges and its ups and downs. I believe in celebrating life, celebrating sobriety, because it's worth sharing. Satish N, 3rd of August. ये इसलिए मैंने लिखा because 3rd of August, 25 years back in the year 2000, I was standing in a municipality hospital with two AA friends of mine in Kalyan, standing and shivering out of my withdrawals because I just wanted to detoxify myself, and it's a government hospital. I wanted help. I've always been afraid of doctors. I've never been to a hospital for my withdrawals. I didn't know what to do, but I just reached out to Alcoholics Anonymous after my slip and a relapse of celebrating 1 year of sobriety and then landing up in the streets of Mumbai, surviving somehow. But in that hospital, they gave me a paper written in the local language Marathi, which I can read, but I can't. Those days I could not understand very well. But there was a rubber stamp on that. Rubber seal मारते हैं वो पेपर में. दवाई भी दी मुझे withdrawals के लिए, but I could not be admitted there. And they put a thappa, as you call it, 3rd of August, 2000. I hold that paper very dear to me, and I kept it for a long time in my life. But unfortunately, I lost that paper, but that memory of 3rd of August 2000 is forever etched in my mind. Just like the way I said that, 25th of May 1997 is another date that is etched in my big book, because I got the big book on the first day of coming into Alcoholics Anonymous. So I love what Tambi had to say just now, that Alcoholics Anonymous has changed a lot. Now, I'll come to the present times. Some of you who know me very personally and very close to me knows the various challenges that I face in my life on a day-to-day basis. So when the COVID happened and the pandemic was on, in the month of March, they declared a complete lockdown. And for me, that was the worst thing to happen, because I've already been in a rehab and I've had the experience of about 3 months inside. I've had the experience of being in lockup 3 times. I've had the experience of going into the jail prison for 28 days. In fact, the first time that I stayed away from alcohol is for 24 days inside the jail. Instead of 28 days, I got 24 days. And that's the first time that I could stay away from alcohol, because I was already an AA member by that time. But the obsession of this disease is such that the moment I came out of the jail and the prison, the first thing I did was I went and drank. So then I really can tell you one thing, that, I understand the fact that alcoholism is a disease after I came here. And it's such a disease that it's called the obsession of the mind, the physical allergy of the body, and spiritual bankruptcy. अभी जो तीनों बातें मैंने करी, Sanjeev, it might not make sense to you or to Viraj, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me when I came here. There were a couple of things which was told to me when I came here, to keep it one day at a time. जो आज का दिन है, वही मुझे देखना है. Which was wonderful, because before coming into Alcoholics Anonymous, my lifestyle was to work for today, plan for tomorrow, party tonight. because every moment of my life I wanted to enjoy my life, because my life was miserable, to be honest with you, and I associated myself with drinking as to happiness, but I had no clue. So I drank and drank and drank and drank and drank for the sake of getting love, for the sake of getting affection, for the sake of getting attention, for the sake of getting acceptance and all things, but I never got it. In fact, I would be in a miserable situation by drinking. I would rather fall down, get robbed, pick up fights, speed drive. 3 times that I went to the lockup was for DUI. Abroad it's called driving under the influence. And the first time that I went into the prison was, I love music, and I got into somebody's car and put the music on, and I was enjoying the music, and they thought I'm going to rob. I'm a carjacker. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is the insanity of, again, drinking after miserable consequences is what I faced. But then, like I said, I kept coming back no matter what. So I was told that, I need to pick up a sponsor here. I picked up a sponsor in every country that I visited, every city that I've been to. And I have a couple of sponsors, and I was grateful to those sponsors who spent their time with me. I was grateful to millions of people, to be honest with you, because I've lost count now, that I've come across. And I was coming back to the pandemic. So when the pandemic happened, I was locked up in my own house. Thank God for technology, that I decided, let's get into Zoom and start up a meeting. And I started, and whatever numbers that I've had over the years on my phone book, I sent out invitations to everybody possible. Slowly and steadily, people started coming in, and this global lockdown group started. In fact, नाम देने में भी बहुत मुश्किलें परेशानियां हुई. पहले हमने ये सोचा कि थाना ग्रुप डालते हैं, फिर हमने कोविड इंटरनेशनल ग्रुप करके डाला. लास्ट में हमने ग्लोबल लॉकडाउन ग्रुप इसलिए डाला बिकॉज not only India, not only Mumbai city, but all across the world, lockdowns were happening, and lots and lots and lots of people started reconnecting with my own life because of the people that I've lost contact with. So what a blessing in disguise for me, that such a strong AA presence came into my life. When even social distancing was a problem, you just couldn't even talk to anybody, touch anybody. So my gratitude to this particular group. Exactly, it is running the same way of having a morning 10:30 meeting and an evening meeting. Exactly the same things which I used to ask, is there any topic that you'd like to talk on? And hats off to the service team members in this group. I'm ever, ever grateful. And I'm very touched that this group could be alive when I had to leave and go, because after a few months, I picked up a job in my COVID times, and I had to work in the evenings, and I could not participate much in the meetings here. And then after a few months, after completing about 10 months on the job, I realized that, कि एक सुबह की मीटिंग भी होनी चाहिए. There should be a morning meeting, early morning when you wake up. Because in my own career of recovery, all the meetings were in the evenings, the physical meetings. There were very few morning meetings. And I used to really suffer. There was a Bhatia meeting in Mumbai, which I used to go into. There was a time when I would be desperate to have a meeting in the morning, because I just could not hold on till evening for a meeting, and I was afraid that I might drink. And so we started the primary purpose group as a closed meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, and thank God that we crossed 4 years in that. And there's been a lovely service team there also. But the lifeblood of this program is the newcomer who has come in and reminded me of the days that no matter how many years that I might have crossed, it's over. But I should never forget what was my condition and how did I start my recovery. And so to the newcomers, anybody who's still struggling, I say that, from my own experience, strength, and hope, I'd like to give you this hope that this program works. It definitely works. I don't know by what I say if you might connect or not, but I try to live a life of Alcoholics Anonymous because this is a program of attraction rather than promotion, And I never say no to service because service is something which has really worked for me. And the only reason why I got more associated with service is to give back to that group and the service team members in their wisdom thought that they could put a small message in a newspaper. And to those members that the moment I walked into the Alcoholics Anonymous room, the first meeting that I had, welcomed me with such love and affection that I was seeking for all my life. जो चीज मैं शराब में ढूंढ रहा था, the thing that I was exactly searching at the end of the bottle and the end of the glass, and I would still go for another glass of alcohol or another bottle of alcohol. That is exactly what Alcoholics Anonymous gave me. First and foremost, the love, unconditionally. It didn't matter what I have, what is my background, what's my nationality, which country do I come from, what job that I do, whether I'm dressed well or not. How young am I? Because I was too young when I came here. All I saw was old people, very less young people. But it didn't matter whether I'm a man or a woman, it didn't matter. That love that I got on the first day of Alcoholics Anonymous, I still get it now, multifold. Multifold. Because I know the people, some of the people who have taken the pain to wake up at 12 o'clock in the night and send me messages exactly at 12:01 last night. You make me worthy of taking one more day ahead in life. Because I was a worthless person of no value, even to myself or to anybody else. Today, the message is in the mess. And I can tell you stories and stories and stories of my drunkalog and my disease of alcoholism. But what inspires me the most is the celebration of sobriety. I celebrate life. I try to recover loud for the people who are suffering in silence. Because we do have certain traditions in Alcoholics Anonymous or that sake of anonymity, but sometimes we overdo that. Today I'm reminded about a couple of years back that I was carrying my anonymity in my own community, in my own building, in my own society, that there was an alcoholic who was suffering just 2-3 buildings away from my house, and he died. It was too late when a couple of my home group members came to me from Astitwa group, and I also went ahead and tried to give the message to that alcoholic. And this was a man who used to come to the temple every day morning, where I go into, and the family, but I just could not open my anonymity and tell them that I'm an alcoholic and I can help you. For the sake of, so many reasons that person passed away. And I'm also very touched by the recent passing away of my friend Sanat, day before yesterday morning, who passed away with 41 years of sobriety, And when I went into the cremation ground, I was happy to send him off, to be honest with you, for the fact that there are so many old timers whom I have in my life, they are no more, and they're waiting for him in heaven, and even there he won't be alone, because there are people waiting for him, and may God bless his soul, because the person who brought me into Alcoholics Anonymous for the first time. His name is Pierre. My gratitude to him. He's no more either in this world. But I know he's waiting for me upstairs when my time comes. But till my time comes, I would love to die sober. But I can only die sober when I go from here is only if I stay sober today. Because we believe in one thing, that whatever has happened yesterday, all these 25 years that's gone is gone now. And the rest 24 hours is what I need to focus on, because I just don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, whether I live or die. If I stay alive, I love to stay sober, but we'll see that tomorrow. The program is quite simple. Sanjay, for your sake, and for Viraj's sake, and for anybody else's sake, and for my own sake, is to see that how I maintain myself spiritually for today. Now, if I start flying too high, that I've completed 25 years, yes, it's a big deal for me, no doubt, because if I can recover from a hopeless state of body and mind, no doubt it's commendable for me and for some others who get inspired by what you're witnessing. But most importantly, the program says that I have to handle the day to day. And if I feel sad that if there are some people who have not come in for the morning meeting, they missed it out, or feel too happy about some great people who came into the morning meeting, I just can't afford to go to extremes, because once an alcoholic, I definitely will always be an alcoholic. But today I have a choice. Earlier I never had a choice. I had to drink. But today, like they said, this is a disease which I'm not responsible for. Anybody can get diabetes. And for a long time I carried the guilt of my own alcoholism until I came into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, which gave me the greatest relief that, you're not a bad person, you're not a mad person, but you're a sick person. But I'm responsible for my recovery. I have a choice today. I have a choice to either finishing the primary purpose meeting and after the fellowship, go and do a great party with all friends, or I did have a choice to come here to offer my gratitude to the global lockdown group as well, because it's 12 o'clock now. And for the last 5 years, every day between 10:30 and 12, although I've not been in a position to come into these meetings at global lockdown, but I keep myself reminded how God works through me, I just planted a seed, that's all. And I see so many beautiful, beautiful people coming and associating with this particular group, and also associating in the evening. Because I've been opening up many groups abroad and in Chennai and Mumbai, physical groups, but I never had an experience of opening up a group online. Only 2 groups that I opened up is the Global Lockdown group and Primary Purpose group. So I'm ever grateful to all of you for considering this a platform, where you can come and open up and share your story, your experience, your strength, your hope, and gives me, like I said, another beautiful day in recovery in spite of whatever challenges that I have. Life is not a bed of roses, no doubt. I'd just like to touch on the first step, which says we admit we are powerless over alcohol and our lives have become unmanageable. Yes, I'm powerless over many things in my life, almost everything. But I find today a little powerful over my own self, with the help of you and with the help of God. And my life is manageable. And that's I could achieve only because I could go on to my second step, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 9, 10, 11, and 12, including the traditions, which I try my best to, follow. So my message is clear. Exactly like what, and that's another coincidence that today's reflection, August 3rd, I remember over the last 25 years, I look at it with, surprisingly that it says to be of service. It says to God and to the people about us, right? So I just want to read that sentence, which is from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 77. And I have, if you can give me just one moment, I'll just read it out, which I just see it here. It says that our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and to the people about us. It is clear that God's plan for me is expressed through love. God loved me enough to take me from alleys and jails so that I could be a useful participant in His world. My response is to love all His children through service and by example. I ask God to help me imitate His love for me through my love for others. And this is powerful for me, very powerful for me. The love that you give me is the most treasured value for me, And I love you all for listening me through. May you all have a sober day ahead. God bless you all. Thank you so much to the service team for letting
Thank
me
you,
share.
Satish. Keep coming back. One more time, congratulations. God bless you.